Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram Rama Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram
Ram
Ram Ram
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Hare Hare.
Ram 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 Hare,
Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare,
Hare
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram Ram Ram
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram Ram Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare
Krishna,
Hare. Hare
Ram
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Ram
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare Ram
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 Hare,
Ram Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Ram 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 Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
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 Krishna,
Hare Hare.
Ram
Hare Ram
Ram
Ram Ram
Ram
Ram
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Hare,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare. Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare Hare.
Ram Ram Hare,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram
Ram,
Hare,
Ram Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram 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 Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare. Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram
Hare,
Ram, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare. Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna
Krishna Hare Hare. Hare
Ram
Ram,
Ram
Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare,
Hare. Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Hare,
Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Hare Hare.
Krishna
Hare Krishna, Hare
Ram
Krishna, Krishna
Ram
Krishna
Ram
Hare
Hare,
Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram, Hare
Krishna
Hare. Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna
Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Ram
Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Hare
Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Ram
Hare Krishna,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare,
Krishna Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram
Hare
Ram
Krishna,
Hare,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
Hare Ram,
Krishna
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Ram Hare, Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna Krishna
Krishna
Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare
Ram
Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Krishna
Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram,
Ram
Hare
Ram
Hare.
Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Sri Asari, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Ram
Krishna
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Ram,
Hare
Hare Hare, Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare Ram,
Krishna, Krishna
Hare
Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram Ram,
Krishna,
Hare Hare, Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Ram,
Krishna
Ram
Krishna,
Hare
Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare
Ram, Hare Ram,
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, 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 Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, 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 Ram, Hare Krishna,
Giriraj Prabhu, please let me know when you are done so that I'll stop my chanting then. Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthapta Desham Dhanadana Swami Padaya Krishna Prasthapta Desham Dhanadana Swami Namaste Saraswati Devi Bhagavan Pracharya Shri Tamil Vishnu Vishnu Tamil 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 Bhakta Branda.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram 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 Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare 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 Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ram Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji and Mother is Dana Pranam. All Lord Shishla Prabhupada and Gurudev. Thank you very much for chanting. So, Muralidhar Prabhu
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
and Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhuji.
మీ మాల అయిపోతే చేయండి ఓకే
ఓం నమో భగవతే వాసుదేవాయ ఓం నమో భగవతే వాసుదేవాయ ఓం నమో భగవతే వాసుదేవాయ ఓం అజ్ఞానతిమిరాంధస్య జ్ఞానాంజనశలాకయా చక్షురున్మిలితం येन తస్మై శ్రీ గురువే నమః ఓం విష్ణుపాదాయ కృష్ణప్రేష్టాయ భూతలే శ్రీమతే భక్తివేదాంత స్వామి నిత్యానందే నమస్తే సారస్వతే దేవి గౌరవాణి ప్రచారిణి విశేష శూన్యవాది పాశ్చాత్య దేశతారిణి जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे हरे श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण रघुनाथान्वितां रघुनाथान् तं सजीवं
అద్వైతం
साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नित्यानंदे नमस्ते सारस्वते देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणी नमो महावदान्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायिते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरत्विषे नमः नमो ब्राह्मण्य देवाय गो ब्राह्मण हिताय च जगद्दिताय कृष्णाय गोविंदाय नमो नमः हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम 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 हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे राम हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे राम हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी
థ్యాంక్ యూ థ్యాంక్ యూ సో మచ్ యా let us recite Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter one second 20 onwards today okay really 18-20 yeah kindly repeat yeah this is the 20th verse so what is saying Krishna here yesterday's recitation 19 to 18 19 we have knowledge object of knowledge nowhere are the three factors that motivate an action knowledge the object of knowledge nowhere of the knowledge the senses the work and doer are the three constituent of the work so the subtle things these are the physical according to the three different modes of middle nature there are three kinds of knowledge and three kinds of action and three kinds of performers now hear of them from me so we'll continue okay text 20 please repeat after me सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं
सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं
भावम् अव्ययमीक्षते
भावमव्ययमीक्षते
अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु
अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्
ज्ञानं विद्धि सात्विकम्।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी, दंडवत प्रणामालु।
Yeah.
सर्वभूतेषु येनैकं भावमव्ययमीक्षते अविभक्तं विभक्तेषु తజ్ఞానం విద్ధి సాత్వికం. శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదుల వారి అనువాదము. జీవులు అసంఖ్యాక రూపములుగా విభజింపబడినను ఏ జ్ఞానం ద్వారా జీవులందరిలో అవిభక్తమైన ఆధ్యాత్మిక తత్వము చూడబడినో అట్టి జ్ఞానము సత్వగుణముతో కూడినదిగా తెలుసుకొనుము. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
Hare Krishna. Anybody? English? You say read translation?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Okay.
Translation: knowledge by which one divided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms. We should understand to be in the mode of goodness. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Undivided in spiritual nature. So that means in all living entities, undivided spiritual nature. So Atma is same quality, right? Sachidananda Vigraha. So Atma is there everywhere. Chara Chara. Annantarastha Paramana Chayantarastham. Hare Krishna. Text 21. Pritaktena tu yajnanam
पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं
nana bhavan pritagvidan
नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान्
vetti sarveshu bhuteshu
वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु
tajnanam viddhi rajasam.
तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम्।
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु. पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं नानाभावान् पृथग्विधान् वेत्ति सर्वेषु भूतेषु తజ్ఞానం విద్ధి రాజసం. శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదుల వారి అనువాదము. ఏ జ్ఞానము ద్వారా మానవుడు ప్రతి భిన్న శరీరములో భిన్నమైన జీవుడు ఉన్నట్లుగా చూచునో అట్టి జ్ఞానము రజోగుణముతో కూడినదిగా తెలుసుకొనుము. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Read anyone?
Translation: that knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity, you should understand to be in the mode of passion. That knowledge by which one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity, you should understand to be in the mode of passion.
Separately, not understanding the nature of this spiritual nature. Let us see text 22. Yat Krishna vadekshmin
यत्तु कृष्णावदेकस्मिन्
यत् कृष्णा वदेकस्मिन्
यत्तु कृष्णावदेकस्मिन्
कार्ये सक्तम् अहैतुकम्
कार्ये सक्तमहैतुकम्
अतत्तावार्थवदल्पं च
अतत्भावार्थवदल्पं च
तत्तमासम् उदाहृतम्.
तत्तमसमुदाहृतम्.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ. ఎత్తు కృష్ణవదే కస్మిన్ కారే సక్తమకైతుకం అతత్వార్థవతల్పంచ తత్తామసముదాహృతం. శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదుల వారి అనువాదము. ఏ జ్ఞానము ద్వారా ఒకరు అల్పమైన ఏదో ఒక రకమైన కార్యముకు కారణము మరియు సత్యావగాహన లేకుండా అదే సర్వస్వమైనట్లుగా ఆసక్తుడగునో అట్టి జ్ఞానము తమోగుణముతో కూడినదిగా చెప్పబడును. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
Hare Krishna. And that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without knowledge of the truth, and which is very meager, is said to be in the mode of darkness. Very more. Yeah. One is understanding spiritual nature, one is seeing different in all the bodies like that, and one is completely, too much attached, not to understand about the spiritual nature, which is very meager mode of darkness. Ignorance, Prabhupada is written, mode of darkness. Tamasa means ignorance. Ignorance is nothing but darkness. Okay. Let us see the theme. So Krishna is so nicely telling. Let us read next three also. Yeah, we'll recite. Niyatam sangarahitam
नियतं
नियतं
सङ्गरहितं
सङ्गरहितं
araga dveshata kritam
आरागद्वेषतः
द्वेषता
कृतं
कृतं
apala prepsuna karma
अपलप्रेप्सुना कर्म
yattat sattvikamukhyate.
यत्तत्
यत्तत्
सात्विकमुच्यते
हरे कृष्ण प्रभुजी।
Yeah.
नियतं सङ्गरहितम् अरागद्वेषितः कृतम् अपलप्रेप्सुना कर्म यत्तत् సాత్వికముచ్యతే. శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదుల వారి అనువాదము. క్రమబద్ధీకరించబడినది అశక్తిరహితముగను రాగద్వేషరహితముగను ఫలాపేక్ష రహితముగను చేయబడు కర్మ సత్వగుణమునకు సంబంధించినదిగా చెప్పబడును. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Read in Telugu, English.
That action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive result is said to be in the mode of goodness.
3 words important. Sangarahitam araga dveshata. Love and attachment, love and hatred, and afala prepsuna, by one without desire for fruitive result. Yeah, easy to understand. Next text 10:24. Yettu kamepsuna karma
कामेप्सुना कर्म
sahankarena va puna
సాహంకారేణ వా పునః
kriyate bahulayasam
క్రియతే
क्रियते
బహుళాయాసం
बहुलायासं
tadrajasam udahrutam.
తద్రాజసముదాహృతం. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ. ఎత్తు కామేప్సునా కర్మ సాహంకారేణ వా పునః క్రియతే బహుళాయాసం తద్రాజ సముదాహృతం. శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదుల వారి అనువాదము. కానీ కోరికలను పూరింపదలుచు కోగోరు వానిచే అహంకార భావనతో అధిక ప్రయాసతో చేయబడు కర్మ రజోగుణముకు సంబంధించినదిగా చెప్పబడును. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
Nicely explaining about the actions. Very good. Anyone read, please?
Yeah, I will read books. But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires and enacted from a sense of false ego is called action in the mode of passion.
Very well. With great effort. What is that great effort for? Satisfying his senses, gratifying senses, gratifying his desires, sense gratification. Okay, and with the acting that, with sense of false ego, mode of passion. Okay, text 25. Anubandham kshayam himsam
अनुबन्धं क्षयं हिंसां
anapeksha cha paurusham
अनपेक्ष च पौरुषं
mohad arabhyate karma
मोहाधाराभ्यते कर्म
yattattamasamuchyate.
यत्तत्तामसमुच्यते.
Yeah, this will stop. Recite, Matai.
హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ. అనుబంధం క్షయం హింసాం అనపేక్ష చ పౌరుషం మోహాదారాభ్యతే కర్మ ఎత్తత్తామసముచ్యతే. శ్రీల ప్రభుపాదుల వారి అనువాదం. శాస్త్ర నిర్దేశములను నిరసించి భవిష్యత్ బంధమును కాని పరమ హింసను కాని పరమ దుఃఖమును కాని లెక్క చేయక మోహముతో చేయబడు కర్మ తమోగుణముకు సంబంధించినదిగా చెప్పబడును. హరే కృష్ణ ప్రభుజీ.
Yeah. Read, anyone?
The action performed in illusion is in disregard of scriptural injunctions and without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others is said to be in the mode of ignorance.
That action performed in illusion, disregard of scriptural injunctions, without concern for future bondage or fire, violence, distress, caused. See, let us see how nicely these 6 verses we have recited. So just to translation to them, so that again it will stick. Let me just put this way. Just a minute. Only translation. Okay. See, this is where Krishna is trying to tell us. Okay, according to the three different modes, three kinds of knowledge, action, performer of action. That is explaining, right? So first, knowledge is explained. Now, next three is explained about the action. Okay, so that knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities, though they are divided into innumerable forms. You should understand to be the mode of understanding about the nature of in all living entities. That is, this Krishna is there as a Paramatma, and there is the same quality. Okay, that knowledge by which one sees in one sees that in every different body there is a different type of living entity. You should understand to be in the mode of passion. So they are not about the concept of soul, or just every soul, every person is different, like that thinking. And that one about the knowledge, and that knowledge by which is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, adhe pani, bodily concept of life. That knowledge by one is attached to one kind of work as the all in all, without knowledge of the truth. One kind of work means okay, they're not worried about the spiritual nature or anything like this. Basically, completing sense gratification, and which is very meager and is said to be in the mode of darkness. That is about the knowledge. And next three, Krishna talks about the action in three modes. That action which is regulated, which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive results, is said to be in the mode of goodness. But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify sense desires, gratifies desire means sense gratification, and enacted from a false ego, is called action in the mode of passion. The action performed illusion, in disregard of scriptural injunctions, and without concern for future bondage or for knowledge, for violence or distress caused to others, is said to be in the mode of ignorance. So, in these actions and knowledge, which one has to be situated? So, in the Krishna is telling us about the knowledge in three modes, action in three modes. So, if you want to practice to the devotional service, which one is the starting point? At least situated in the you're not getting question?
Sattva, Hare Krishna.
One has to situate in at least at the starting with Prabhupada writes, one has to come to the mode of goodness, then only they will be able to practice. Then only they will be able to practice the devotional service. The starting point, situated in the mode of goodness. So this is where, undivided. So seeing Krishna is there in everyone's heart, and samoham sarva bhuteshu, and mamai vamsha jiva loka jiva bhuta. The many verses. Sarvasya chaha hrudi sannivishta. That is there. And here action also, see, nicely explaining, the action which is regulated and not performed without attachment, love or hatred, without desire for fruitive results. So that's where Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, we many times we recite, right? Performing bhakti without any desires. Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, zero. Serving for Supreme Lord, that's it. Only one undivided attention, serving Supreme Lord without any desires. Desires to serve Krishna, that's the only desire. Remaining all the times, if we have, that's where we have modes. How we perform our action in the mode of goodness matters. How we situated understanding the knowledge matters. Hare Krishna. Nandara Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. So we'll continue with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, SB 4.12. We are in that chapter, and text 12 onwards we are going to recite. We are going to read. Okay, chapter 12. Dhamaraja goes back to it. Text 11. Done 12 onwards. Text. Hare Krishna. Please start reading, Raju Prabhu.
Prabhuji, I'm going. I'll come and read.
Okay. Anybody wants to
Krishna,
read?
you want me to share?
Prabhuji, I can read.
No, I'm okay today. I'm little, no problem. I can manage.
I can share, you can read if you want. Is it okay or you want to run?
No, I will be here. It's okay. Today is, what is it? Friday, right? Friday, no? Today is Friday. Okay. No. I don't have anything tomorrow morning. It's okay.
Okay, carry on.
Okay, please read. Sri Hari Prabhu. Somebody unmuted.
ఎస్ ప్రభుజీ నేను చదువుతాను.
చదవండి.
ఇది ఒకసారి హెడ్డింగ్ గా చదవచ్చా శ్రీమద్ భాగవతం టైటిల్?
వై నాట్? చదవండి. Canto 4.
Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, the creation of the fourth order. Chapter 12, Dhruva Maharaja goes back to Godhead. Text 12. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Dhruva Maharaja was endowed with all goodly qualities. He was very respectful to the devotees of the Supreme Lord and very kind to the poor and innocent. And he protected religious principles. With all these qualifications, he was considered to be the direct father of all the citizens. Purport. The personal qualities of Dhruva Maharaja described herein are the exemplary qualities of a saintly king. Not only a king, but also the leaders of a modern democratic or impersonal government must be qualified with all these godly characteristics. Then the citizens of the state can be happy. It is clearly stated here that the citizens thought of Dhruva Maharaj as their father. As a child, depending on the able father, is completely satisfied. So the citizens of the state, being protected by the state or the king, should remain satisfied in every respect. At the present moment, however, there is no guarantee by the government of even the primary necessities of life in the state, namely the protection of the lives and property of the citizens. One word is very significant in this connection: Brahmanyam. Dhruva Maharaja was very devoted to the Brahmanas, who engage in the study of the Vedas and thereby know the supreme personality of Godhead. They are always busy propagating Krishna consciousness. The state should be very respectful to society that distribute God consciousness all over the world. But unfortunately, at the present moment, there is no state or government support given to such movements. As for good qualities, it is very difficult to find anyone in the state administration with any good qualities. The administrators simply sit in their administrative posts and say no to every request, as if they were paid to say no to the citizens. Another word, Dina Vatsalam. Dina Vatsalam is very significant also. The state head should be very kind to the innocent. Unfortunately, in this stage, the state agents and the presidents draw good salaries from the state and they pose themselves as very pious, but they allow the running of slaughterhouses where innocent animals are killed. If we try to compare the godly qualities of Dhruva Maharaja to the qualities of modern statesmen, we can see that there is no actual comparison. Dhruva Maharaja was present in the Satya Yuga, as will be clear from the next verses. He was the ideal king in Satya Yuga. The government administration in the present age, Kali Yuga, is bereft of all godly qualities. Considering all these points, the people today have no alternative but to take Krishna consciousness for protection of religion, life, and property. Thank you, Prabhu.
Background voices. I'm just muting. Okay, thank you, Prabhu. That's where Prabhupada compares from their ideal king. So what he's saying here, godly qualities. endowed with all godly qualities. He was very respectful of Brahmanas, devotees of the Supreme Lord, very kind to the poor innocent, protected religious principles. With all these qualifications, he was considered to be the direct father of all the citizens. Rajarshi, the definition of Rajarshi, godly qualities, respectful to the Brahmanas, especially devotees of Supreme Lord, very kind to the poor and innocent, protect the religious principles, and with all these qualifications, he was considered to be the direct father of all the citizens. Hare Krishna. Prabhupada written, see, this is where Prabhupada explanations of some words, Brahmanyam, Dina Vatsalam, based on that, he expanded his purport. Hare Krishna. We'll continue next. Text 13. Anybody wants to do? Let me ask. Let him Prabhu. Okay. Madhavi Mataji.
Shall I read, Prabhuji?
Madhavi Mataji, you unmuted. You want to do?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Translation
Okay.
purpose in the translation. Dhruva Maharaja ruled over this planet for 36,000 years. He diminished the reactions of pious activities by enjoyment and by practicing.
Just putting 36 exactly.
Yeah.
Satrimas 36. Satrimas Varsha years. Sahasra 1000. Exact number 36,000. So 1 lakh years a person lives in that age. Satya Yuga age. Yes, Mataji. Malid.
Yeah, Dhruva Maharaja ruled over this planet for 36,000 years. He diminished the reactions of pious activities by enjoyment, and by practicing austerities, he diminished inauspicious reactions. Purpose. That Dhruva Maharaja ruled over the planet for 36,000 years means that he was present in the Satya Yuga, because in the Satya Yuga, people used to live for 100,000 years. 100,000, 1 lakh. In the next Yuga, Treta, people used to live for 10,000 years. And in the next Yuga, Dwapara for 1,000 years. In the present, the Kali Yuga, the maximum duration of life is 100 years. With the change of the Yugas, the duration of the life and memory, the quality of kindness, and all other good qualities diminish. There are two kinds of activities, namely pious and impious. By executing pious enjoyment are affected by distress. When he is prosperous, he knows, I am diminishing the Prabhuji koncham scroll up. I am diminishing the results of my pious activity. And when he is in distress, he knows, I am diminishing the reactions of my impious activities. A devotee is not concerned with enjoyment or distress. He simply desires to execute devotional service. It is said in the Srimad Bhagavatam that devotional service should be apratihata, unchecked by the material conditions of happiness or distress. The devotee undergoes processes of austerity such as observing Ekadashi and similar other fasting days, and refraining from illicit sex life, intoxication, gambling, and meat eating. Thus, he becomes purified from the reactions of his past impious life. And because he engages in devotional service, which is the most pious activity, he enjoys life without separate endeavor. Thank you,
Haribo. Apradihata. Okay. Unchecked by material conditions of happiness and distress. Apradihata, without any stoppage. Prabhupada mentioned about here. See, that's where, when he used this word only he uses in his purport, purificatory process. What is that purificatory process? These are the things. Undergoes processes of austerity. Actually, it's a process of austerity, following regulative principles, following, Ekadashi fasting days, chanting, hearing, Thus, he becomes purified. And the reactions of impious life. And because he engages in devotional service, which is the most pious activity, and enjoys life without separate endeavor. Automatically, in devotional service, it inclusive. It is a perfect enjoyment or perfect engagement. per soul. Prabhupada writes in one beautiful thing. Every yuga, diminishing duration of life, memory, quality of kindness, and all other good qualities diminish as the age progresses. Like that, the people living in that age also comes down. They're like that qualities. Uh, uh. See, a devotee is not interested in enjoyment or affected by distress. When he is prosperous, he knows I am diminishing the results of my business. When he is in distress, he knows I am doing. But a devotee is not concerned with enjoyment or distress. What he is concerned? Just desiring for Supreme Lord's service. ब्रह्मभूत प्रसन्नात्मा न सोचति न कांक्षति समसर्वेषु भूतेषु मद्भक्ते लभते मद्भक्ते कृष्ण used मद्भक्ते लभते पराम. Very well. Okay. Thank you so much. Text 14. Anybody wants to? Chandral Prabhu, since you immediate. Go ahead. Please read.
Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada Ji. The self-controlled great soul, Dhruva Maharaja, thus passed many, many years verbally executing three kinds of worthy activities, namely religiosity, economic development, and the satisfaction of all material desires. Thereafter, he handed over the charge of the royal throne to his son. Purport. Perfection of materialistic life is suitably attained by the process of observing religious principles. This lends automatically to successful economic development, and thus there is no difficulty in satisfying all material desires. Since Dhrumaraja, as a king, had to keep up his status quo, or it would not have been possible to rule over the people in the general, he did it perfect one. He did perfectly. But as soon as he saw that his son was grown up and could take charge of the royal throne, he immediately handed over the charge and retired from all material engagements. One word used here is very significant. What is that? Avichalendriya. Avichalendriya, which means that he was not distributed by the hesitation of the senses, nor was his sensory power diminished. Although in years he was very old man. Since he ruled over the world for 36,000 years, naturally one may conclude that he became very, very old, but actually his senses were very strong. And yet he was not interested in sense gratification. In other words, he remained self-controlled. Controlled. He performed his duties perfectly according to the materialistic way. That is the way of the behavior of great devotees. Srila Raghunatha Das and Goswami, one of the direct disciples of Lord Chaitanya, was the son of a very rich man. Although he had no interest in enjoying material happiness, when he was interested with doing something in managing the state, he did it perfectly. Srila, uh, Srila Gaura Sundara advised him from within keep yourself and your mind completely aloof, but externally execute the material duties just as they need to be done. This transcendental position can be achieved by devotees only, as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita, while others, such as yogis, try to control their senses by force. Devotees, even though possessing full sensory powers, do not use them because they engage in higher transcendental activities. Hare Krishna.
That is a transcendental position. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, what is the name of son of Dhruva Maharaj?
I have also forgot. I'll check 1 second.
Okay.
Uttama is a brother, but let me see. Exactly, I don't know which son. He had 2 sons, I think. Let me see. Only. Nova Maharaja. Yeah, I'm sharing here, Prabhu, one document, you know. Yes, we have seen this Bhagavatam family tree. Oh, this is the thing. So Swayambhumanu, Uttanapada and Priyavrata. Uttanapada, no, Suruchi and Suniti, we know that son is Dhruva and his brother Uttama. So he got killed, he got angry, he fight with the Yakshas, and here he had two wives mentioned here, Vatsara and Utkala, and from Vatsara, 5 other sons and Pushparna. I mean, this one. I am not sure which one. I haven't read where exactly which son he has given. I don't know. Maybe let me check with him. Prabhu, మీకు ఏమైనా ఐడియా ఉందా? I think it's not mentioned, right? Exactly. ఏ son
In
కి
Bhagavatam, it's not mentioned, Prabhuji, but in other scriptures, it is mentioned. Vatsara కదా కొడుకు.
వత్సర కొడుకునా?
అంటే వత్సరకి ఇచ్చినారు. చాలా మంది వైఫ్స్ ఉంటారు, చాలా మంది కొడుకులు ఉంటారు ప్రభుజీ. బట్ హీ ఫెల్ట్ వత్సర ఈజ్ ఏ కేపబుల్ పర్సన్.
అది ఎక్కడ అనేది అంటే ఎవరికైనా ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ అవునా?
వేరే స్క్రిప్చర్స్ లో మెన్షన్ చేసి ఉంది ప్రభుజీ వత్సర అని. అండ్ ధ్రువ మహారాజ్ మిగతా పాస్ట్ టైమ్స్ కూడా బోల్డెన్ ఉంటాయి. మన భాగవతంలో భక్తికి ఎంత కావాలో అంత ఇస్తారనమాట. కానీ వత్సరకి ఇచ్చినారు ప్రభుజీ, అందులో డౌట్ లేదు. ఇప్పుడు వస్తుంది ఆ లీనేజ్ గురించి వస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ.
మనం చదివినప్పుడు కూడా వత్సర అనే ఉంది. మనం స్టార్టింగ్ లో చదివినప్పుడు వత్సర ఫస్ట్ నేమ్.
ఇప్పుడు ధ్రువ ఫ్యామిలీ లీనేజ్ వస్తుంది ప్రభుజీ ముందు ముందు ఇంకా.
అది భాగవతం ట్రీలో అది పెట్టినారు కదా బేసికల్ గా. అక్కడ నుంచి మళ్ళీ చాక్స్ సమానం లీనేజ్ ఇస్ దేర్. ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ. యు వాంట్ టు రీడ్? ప్లీజ్ కంటిన్యూ.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Translation. Srila Dhruva Maharaj realized that this cosmic manifestation bewilders living entities like a dream or phantasmagoria, because it is a creation of illusory external energy of the Supreme Lord. Purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. In the deep forest, it sometimes appears that they are big palaces and nice cities. That is technically called Gandharva Nagara. Similarly, in dreams, also we create many false things out of imagination. A self-realized person or a devotee knows well that this material cosmic manifestation is temporary, illusory representation appearing to be truth. It is like a phantasmagoria. But behind this shadow creation, there is reality, the spiritual world. A devotee is interested in the spiritual world, not its shadow. Since he has realization of the supreme truth, a devotee is not interested in the temporary shadow of the truth. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Param Drishva Nivartate. Thank you, Bhagavad. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Can you read?
Yeah. Phantasmagoria అంటే imaginary things. Imagination, not reality. Hare Krishna. It is like phantasmagoria. Temporary illusory representation appearing. Just like any examples, right? In the on the road, for example, in the full sunlight, bright sunlight, we see from the driving, if we see it looks like water coming on the road. Water coming on the road, huh? But it's like created the shade, sun's shade created with that kind of is illusion. Until we go further, we won't be able to understand. And in the darkness, if we see that it looks like a snake, but it's not a snake, just like a normal.
దీన్ని తెలుగులో ఊహాలోకం అంటారు ప్రభుజీ. ఫ్యాంటస్మగోరి అంటే ఊహాలోకం, కళల ప్రపంచం అంటారు కదా, దాన్ని ఫ్యాంటస్మగోరి అంటారు.
Illusion. That's why yeah. Reality, illusion, illusory representation, temporary illusory representation. Okay, yeah, yes. Text 16. Chadan Babuji.
Yeah, translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Translation. Thus, Dhruva Maharaja at the end left his kingdom, which extended all over the earth and was bounded by the great oceans. He considered his body, his wives, his children, his friends, his army, his rich treasury, his very comfortable palaces, and his many enjoyable pleasure grounds to be creation of the illusory energy. Thus, in the due course of time, he retired to the forest in the Himalayas known as Badrikashima. Purport. In the beginning of his life, when he went to the forest in search of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Dhruva Maharaj realized that all bodily conception of pleasure are products of the illusory energy. In the very beginning, of course, he was after a kingdom of his father, and in order to get, he went to search for the Supreme Lord, but later realized that everything is the creation of the illusory energy. From the acts of Srila Dhruva Maharaja, we can understand that somehow or other, if one becomes Krishna consciousness, it does not matter what is the motivation in the beginning. He will eventually realize the real truth by the grace of the Lord in the beginning. Dhruva Maharaj was interested in the kingdom of his father, but later he became a great devotee, Mahabhagavata, and he had no interest in material enjoyment. The perfection of life can be achieved only by the devotees. Even if one completes only a minute percentage of devotional service and then falls down from his immature position, he is better than a person who is fully engaged in the fruitive activities of the material world. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, while reading Prabhuji, I remember Putin also. Means Putin is extended his presidential period untadi Prabhuji, because he left the everything and he went to forest. But so many leaders in the world, they are very attached to their chair.
ఎవరు ప్రభు?
Putin Prabhuji. Putin came to India yesterday.
అచ్చా.
చాలా మంది అందరు దానికోసం ప్రెసిడెంట్ దానికోసం, బట్ he left everything and he went to forest after ruling some years.
ఫారెస్ట్ అంటే ఎందుకు వెళ్ళాడు ప్రభుజీ? నాకు తెలియదు.
నాకు కూడా తెలియదు. Putin went to
Putin didn't went to forest. Actually, Dhruva Maharaj went to forest.
పుతిన్ కాదు ప్రభుజీ, పుతిన్ వెళ్ళలేదు, మా ధ్రువ మహారాజ్ వెళ్ళాడని చెప్తున్నా నేను. పుతిన్ సో అటాచ్ టు చైర్ అని చెప్తున్నాను.
పుతిన్ ఫారెస్ట్ కి వెళ్ళిందంటే మరి
పుతిన్ కూడా ఫారెస్ట్ కి వెళ్ళింది. ఆయన ఎట్లా వెళ్తాడు ప్రభు? సిటీలో ఉండేది టూ మచ్ కదా.
కాదు ప్రభుజీ, ఈ గివెన్ అప్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ధ్రువ మహారాజ్ అండ్ ఈ వెంట్ టు ఫారెస్ట్. హి హాస్ సో మెనీ లగ్జరీస్ అండ్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్. బట్ ఇన్ ద వరల్డ్
పుతిన్ వెళ్ళట్లేదన్నా ప్రభుజీ?
పుతిన్ వెళ్ళట్లేదు కదా మాతాజీ, ఆ చైర్ కోసం అందరూ ఇంకా అంటే ఈవెన్ నియర్ అంటే డెత్ కు దగ్గరికి వచ్చినా కూడా వాళ్ళు దే ఆర్ ఫైటింగ్ ఫర్ చైర్ అండ్ లైక్ దట్ మై ఇంటెన్షన్.
ఓకే ఓకే. నేను ఇంకా పుతిన్ ఫారెస్ట్ వెళ్ళిండేమో అని నాకు అర్థం కాదు
ప్రభు. జనరల్లీ చూడండి ప్రభుజీ, మనకి మీకు పీర్ ప్రెషర్ అని ఉంటది కదా. పీర్ ప్రెషర్ అంటే తెలుసా మీకు? అంటే పక్కోళ్ళు అందరూ ఎదుగుతున్నారు, నేను ఒక్కడనే ఇలా ఉంటున్నాను బాధ ఉంటది ఒక్కొక్కరికి. ఫియర్ ఆఫ్ మిస్సింగ్ అవుట్ అని, ఫోమో అని, దాన్ని పీర్ ప్రెషర్ అంటారనమాట. ఓకే, కార్పొరేట్ పార్లాన్స్ లో వాళ్ళందరూ ఎదిగితే నేను కూడా ఎదగాల అనే టైప్ లో ఉంటది. అవునా? అది నార్మల్ పీపుల్ కి 40 years దాకా ఉంటదంట. ఓకేనా? పొలిటీషియన్స్ కి అది 75 years దాకా ఉంటదంట ప్రభు. సో అందుకని ఇప్పుడు వాడికి పీర్ ప్రెషర్ అనమాట. అర్థమైందా? ఆడు పొలిటీషియన్ కదా. పొలిటీషియన్స్ కి పీర్ ప్రెషర్ 75 years దాకా ఉంటదంట. మిగతా ఫీల్డ్ వాళ్ళకి 35 to 40 దాకా ఉంటదంట. ఇది డేటా ప్రభు, డేటా. నథింగ్ లైక్ యూనో, ఇది కాదు, ఫిలాసఫీ కాదు ఇది. డేటా చూస్తే జనాలకి ఏమర్థమైందంటే, హిస్టరీ నుంచి డేటా తీస్తే పొలిటీషియన్స్ కి 8 years దాకా ఉంటదంట. 75 to 8 years దాకా ఉంటదంట పీర్ ప్రెషర్. మిగతా వాళ్ళకి మటుకు 40లో ఎండ్ అయిపోద్ది అంట. 35 to 40కి మొత్తం ఎండ్ అయిపోద్ది. బతకని రాబాయి, ఆడ బతకని, ఆడ బతుకు బాగుంది అంటే బతకని అనుకుంటాం, అంతే కదా. మనకి ఇప్పుడు ఎవరైనా బాగా ముందుకెళ్ళిపోయాడు అనుకోండి, మనలో ఒకడు, మనం అది చేయలేము అనుకోండి, ఏమనుకుంటాం మనం? ఆడు రాత బాగుంది అనుకుని వదిలేస్తాం లేదా? వాళ్ళు వదలరంట అట్లా.
75 years దాకా నేను ఎందుకు అవ్వకూడదు అనుకుంటారు అనమాట.
మనం కూడా చాలా మంది వదలం ప్రభుజీ. ఎందుకు వదులుతాం ప్రభుజీ? మనం కూడా వాళ్ళని ఇన్స్పైర్ తీసుకొని మనం కూడా ఎదగాలనుకుంటాం.
అది ప్రాబ్లం అని తెలుస్తుంది భాగవతం చదివే. ఆ ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ మారిపోతాయి అంతే. యాక్చువల్లీ భాగవతం చదివాక ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ అన్ని మారిపోతాయి మనకి. మన ఇన్స్పిరేషన్ ఇట్లా ధ్రువ మహారాజు లేకపోతే ఇట్లాంటి వాళ్ళు అవుతారనమాట. వాళ్ళ భక్తి అవుద్ది యాక్చువల్లీ.
అది మారలేదంటే మెటీరియల్ ఉన్నట్టే.
అంటే చదివింది ఎక్కనట్టు ప్రభుజీ. తిన్న ప్రసాదం ఇంకా పనిచేయనట్టు, తాగిన చరణామృతం ఇంకా వెళ్ళనట్టు.
కరెక్ట్.
హరే కృష్ణ.
కొంచెం ఎక్కువ డోసేజ్ చేసుకోవాలి అప్పుడు.
ఒక్కొక్కరికి ఒకలా ఉంటుంది ప్రభుజీ. ఒక్కొక్కరికి ఒకలా ఎప్పుడు ఎట్లా క్లిక్ అవుతుందో తెలియదు అది. జనరల్లీ స్పీకింగ్ పొలిటీషియన్స్ కి ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది అది.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yeah, we'll continue. Text 17.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, section complete అయిపోయింది Prabhuji. The next section.
Yeah.
17 onwards.
Yes, Prabhu. We'll read Matai.
Yes, Prabhuji. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In Badarikashrama, Dhruva Maharaja's senses became completely purified because he bathed regularly in the crystal clear purified water. He fixed his sitting position and by yogic practice controlled the breathing process and the air of life. In this way, his senses was completely withdrawn. Then he concentrated his mind on the Archavigraha form of the Lord, which is the exact replica of the Lord, and thus meditating upon him, entering into complete trance. Purport. Prabhuji, can you scroll down? Yes, Prabhuji. Here is a description of the Ashtanga Yoga system to which Dhruva Maharaja was already accustomed. Ashtanga Yoga was never meant to be practiced in a fashionable city. Dhruva Maharaja went to Badarikashrama and in a solitary place alone he practiced yoga. He concentrated his mind on the Archavigraha, the worshipable deity of the Lord, which exactly represents the Supreme Lord, and thus thinking constantly of that deity, he became absorbed in trance. Worship of Archavigraha is not idol worship. The Archavigraha is an incarnation of the Lord in a form appreciable by a devotee. Therefore, devotees engage in the temple in the service of the Lord as Archavigraha, a form made of sthula material objects such as stone, metal, wood, jewels, or paint. All of these are called sthula or physical representations. Since the devotees follow the regulative principles of worship, even though the Lord is there in his physical form, he is non-different from his original spiritual form. Thus, the devotee gets the benefit of achieving the ultimate goal of life, that is to say, becoming always absorbed in thought of Lord. This incessant thought of Lord as prescribed in Bhagavad Gita makes one the topmost yogi. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Matai. Prabhupada immediately used the word explaining about the Archa Vigraha. Shiva var Vighaya here. He's fixed and he's doing how he is doing the meditation of Supreme Lord. That's why I mentioned here. Description of Ashtanga Yoga system and especially remembering the deity of Supreme Lord. Exactly like Supreme Lord. Exactly represents the Supreme Lord. And then he explained about the Archa Vigraha is not a idol worship. That's where reciprocable or appreciable by a devotee. It starts with metals, different material objects, stone, metal, wood, jewels, or even paint also. That is a sthula or physical representations. So even the Lord is there in his physical form, he is not different from his original spiritual form. Yeah. So this word, the incessant thought of the Lord. Anybody remember that verse from the Bhagavad Gita? This incessant word is nicely used. This incessant thought of the Lord, as prescribed in the Bhagavad Gita, makes one the topmost yogi. 6th chapter, okay? Last verse. Chapani? Anybody? 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Yogi namapi.
योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेनान्तरात्मना श्रद्धावान् भजते यो मां समेत
Hare. Yes, Mother. Thank you. Hari Bol. Nice. Thank you. Jai. So we'll continue now. And everybody done one verse at least? Let me see whoever not done. Wanna read Lavanya Haribol?
Haribol, చెప్పండి.
Yeah, go ahead and read.
Translation కదా? Hare Krishna.
Translation plus purport. Go ahead, continue. Next,
Translation.
be ready. Neelima Mataji.
Translation and purport by
Next,
Bhaktivedanta
Sirisha
Swami
Mataji, please be ready.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Because of his transcendental bliss, incessant tears flowed from his eyes. His heart melted, and there was shivering and standing of the airs all over his body. Thus transformed in a trance of devotional service, Dhruva Maharaja completely forgot his bodily existence, and he immediately became liberated from material bondage. Purport. Due to constant engagement in devotional service, hearing, chanting, remembering, worshipping the deity, etc., as prescribed in 9 varieties, there are different symptoms which appear in the body of a devotee. These 8 body transformations, which indicate a devotee is already liberated within himself, are called Ashtasattvika Vikara. When a devotee completely forgets his bodily existence, he should be understood he is liberated. He is no longer engaged in the body. The example is given that when a coconut becomes completely dry, the coconut pulp within the coconut shell separates from the bondage of the shell and the outer covering. By moving the dry coconut, one can hear that the pulp within this is no longer attached to the shell or to the covering. Similarly, when one is fully absorbed in devotional service, he is completely disconnected from when one is fully absorbed in devotional service, he is completely disconnected from the two material coverings, the subtle and gross bodies. Dhruva Maharaja actually attained this stage of life by constantly discharging devotional service. He has already been described as a Mahabhagavata. For unless one becomes a Mahabhagavata or a first-class pure devotee, these symptoms are not visible. Lord Chaitanya exhibited all these symptoms. Haridas Tagore also exhibited them, and there are many pure devotees who manifest such bodily symptoms. They are not to be imitated. But when one is actually advanced, these symptoms are exhibited. At that time, it is to be understood that a devotee is materially free. Of course, from the beginning of devotional service, the path of liberation immediately opens, just as a coconut taken from the tree immediately begins to dry. It simply takes some time for the shell and pulp to separate from one another. Hare Krishna.
No, please finish. Let me also. Okay.
Otherwise, I'll read. You can highlight Sachera. మొత్తం కంప్లీట్ గా చేయండి.
ఏంటిది ఎక్కడ హైలైట్ కావాలి?
ఇది కంప్లీట్ గా హైలైట్ చేయండి ఈ పేరా.
పాయింట్స్ అదైతే ఓకే గో హెడ్.
An important word in this verse is Mukta Linga. Mukta means liberated and Linga means the subtle body. When a man dies, he quits the gross body, but the subtle body of the mind, intelligence, and ego carries him to a new body. While existing in the present body, the same subtle body carries him from one stage of life to another. For example, childhood to boy to youthhood. By mental development, the mental condition of a baby is different from that of a boy. The mental condition of a boy is different from the young man, and the mental condition of a young man is different from the that of a old man. So, at the death, the process of changing bodies takes place due to the subtle body. The mind, intelligence, and false ego carry the soul from one gross body to another. This is called transmigration of the soul. But there is another stage when one becomes liberated even from the subtle body. At that time, the living entity is competent and fully separated to be transferred to the transcendental or spiritual world. Dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram yavanam jara pita dehantara prapte dhirastattana mohyate. Yeah.
Complete.
The description of the bodily symptoms of Sri Dhruva Maharaja makes it apparent that he became perfectly fit to be transferred to the spiritual world. One can experience the distinction between the subtle and gross bodies even daily. In a dream, one's gross body is lying on the bed while the subtle body carries the soul, the living entity, to another atmosphere. But because the gross body has to be continued, the subtle body comes back and settles in the present gross body. Therefore, one has to become free from the subtle body also. This freedom is known as Muktalinga. Hare Krishna.
Muktalinga, nicely given analogy. Srila Prabhupada, what is that analogy? Anybody? Don't tell. Okay. Muktalinga means what is given Prabhupada analogy so nicely? 2 times he repeated it. Iparputla. Japan, choose Japan Kanisam. Okay. What is a Muktalinga? Muktalinga is like this. At the time of East Wonders that a devotee materially free, of course, from the beginning of devotional service, the path of liberation immediately open. Immediately. When we start bhakti, when we start chanting, our path for liberation immediately opens. And just as a coconut taken from the tree immediately begins to dry. It simply takes some time for the shell and pulp to separate from one another. Muktalinga. No need of harassment. Even the situated in the middle. There is one Bhagavata verse also, Beautiful verse. Jivan Mukta. Kuntimarani prayers లో వస్తుంది కదా జీవన్ ముక్త అని బ్యూటిఫుల్ వర్డ్స్ అంటే when a person engages his senses even though situated in this material world is liberated even though situated in the material world when he uses his senses in Krishna service mind intelligence and everything all of our senses then he is going to be Jivan Mukta liberated person even though situated in the material world. Best example is this is the example Prabhupada is given coconut pulp shell. Mahabhagavata. Who is Mahabhagavata? Mahabhagavata, for unless one becomes first class pure devotee, these symptoms are not available. So see, Dhruva experienced the joy of devotional service, ecstasy, spiritual bliss. His body, hair stand on head, standing on hairs standing on his body, his heart melted, tears flowing, incessant. This is a transcendental bliss. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returns. Nayanam galadashtadaraya, vadanam gadgadharutayadina, kulakaya nishitam vapukada, tavanam agrahane bhavishyati. See, that is a progress. One has to check progress. Prabhupada writes here, check progress, somewhere here. One has to check.
If he experiences, yeah.
Poses. I think previous ones. So here also is possible. So we are not experiencing means we are not there yet. We may get little just 1 second, 2 seconds without any experience, without not special endeavor. Suddenly when we think about wow, so much, thank you so much Krishna, we will feel sometimes, but it's a continuous, it's possible. Dhruva Maharaj an example here in this past time. Harimor. Okay. Text 19. Whoever not done, let us. Nilima Mataji, Hare Krishna. Let us quickly finish.
Hare Krishna.
One time
Hare
reading.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam 4.12.19.
Yeah. 1 second. Okay.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. As soon as the symptoms of his liberation were manifest, he saw a very beautiful aeroplane coming down from the sky, as if the brilliant full moon were coming down, illuminating all the 10 directions. Purport. There are different levels of acquired knowledge: direct knowledge, knowledge received from authorities, transcendental knowledge, knowledge beyond the senses, and finally spiritual knowledge. When one surpasses the stage of acquiring knowledge by the descending process, is immediately situated on the transcendental platform. Dhruva Maharaja, being liberated from the material concept of life, was situated in transcendental knowledge and could perceive the presence of a transcendental aeroplane, which was as brilliant as the full moonlight. This is not possible. This is not possible in the stage of direct or indirect perception of knowledge. Such knowledge is a special favor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One can, however, rise to this platform of knowledge by the gradual process of advancing in devotional service or Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Beautiful words from Bhagavad I'm remembering. B 10.11. Tesham yovan kampartam ahamajnana jamtam nashayame bhavastha jnanadipena bhashvata. That is not possible in the state of direct and indirect. Such knowledge is special favor. Which knowledge? Transcendental knowledge. Is a favor of the Supreme Personality of God. One can, however, rise to the platform of knowledge. Nadi. Transcendent. So this is where starting. Airplane is coming from, sky. And that is illuminating. Brilliant full moon were coming down, illuminating all 10 directions. Okay. As soon as symptoms of his liberation were manifest, he saw a very beautiful airplane coming down from the sky to taking him ready. Haribol. So 4 kinds of knowledge.
4 directions, 4 sub directions కదా. ఇంకా 2 ఏంటి మరి 10 అంటే స్పిరిచువల్
ఇప్పుడు అది చిన్నప్పుడు మేము చదువుకున్నాం. లెట్ మీ సీ ఎన్ని వస్తాయి
పోయికు ఆదనైపవ ఉంటది.
సో yeah 8 another 2 directions I am not aware. 10 directions. What is it? 10 directions.
Sky, earth, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay. Very good. Thank you very much.
అంటే ఎర్త్ ఒకటా?
Yes.
దాని మధ్యలోనే కదా మొత్తం. Very good.
Thank you.
Okay, one last reading today. Anybody? Let me see this Mataji. Sirisha Mata, you want to do?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
One last reading for today. Please continue. Yeah.
Yes. Scroll, Sarah, Prabhuji. Translation purpose by Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. Dhruva Maharaja saw 2 very beautiful associates of Lord Vishnu in the plain. They had 4 hands and a blackish body luster. They were very youthful and their eyes were just like reddish lotus flower. They held clubs in their hands and they were dressed in very attractive garments with helmets and were decorated with necklaces, bracelets and earrings. Purport. The inhabitants of Vishnu Loka are of the same bodily features as Lord Vishnu, and they also hold club, conch shell, lotus flower and disc. In this verse, it is distinctly stated that they had 4 hands and were nicely dressed. The description of their bodily decorations corresponds exactly to that of Vishnu. So the 2 uncommon personalities who descended from the airplane came directly from Vishnu Loka, or the planet where Lord Vishnu lives.
Hari Bol, Hare Krishna. So how is the bodily feature? How is it looking like that,
4 hands.
Associate Supreme Lord. 4 hands, blackish bodily luster, very youthful, reddish like lotus flowers. Then they hold this one. Club conch shell, lotus flower, and this. So that's the thing. The description of their body decoration corresponds exactly of Vishnu. So the two uncommon personalities who descended uncommon to this material world is different personalities, spiritual world personalities who descended from the airplane came directly from Vishnu Loka, the planet where Lord Vishnu lives. Haribol. So we'll continue from text 21 on Monday. Okay. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this past time, what we see, he performed tapasya at Badrikashrama. Full attention as well as devotion, meditating on Supreme Lord's form, Archa Vigraha form, practicing Ashtanga Yoga, because that is the prescribed method in that age, Satya Yuga time frame. So he got the benediction, he got the bodily symptoms, transcendental bliss experienced in the body. And as soon as he experienced the joy of devotional life, practicing or meditating, he immediately see on the sky. That's where we have seen these last two verses. Inhabitants of Vishnu Loka, the same looks like form of Supreme Lord. And now from there we'll continue tomorrow. So that's appeared in front of him. What happens next? We'll continue on Monday. Hare Krishna. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It's not easy. Devotional life is not easy. Practicing devotional life means we are working on our liberation actually. What we are, how to work on liberation? It's a serious practice actually. One has to take, all these methods of devotional service like chanting, hearing, remembering, serving, whatever activities, engaging our senses in Krishna, that leads to liberation and following the regulative principles. Actually, regulative principles of sinless life. If you, that's why, we all the time, in millions of years ago, we were here in this material world because of the conditional state of life, because of sinful life, especially those four. That's where, that's a first step to situated in the dharma. That is where, sinful activities. What is sinful activity? That we know all four related principles that creates a sinful. Sin means again you have to come back. You have to experience the life of either suffering or enjoying, whatever. That's where. So devotional life is very serious practice. Of course, Prabhupada writes to encourage everybody. Devotional life is chanting, feasting, dancing. There's a lot to do. In the beginning, it's okay, but later, especially mind, you control the mind, senses. Not easy task. That's where we always have to engage our senses in Krishna's service. What is the beautiful verse from the Nectar of Devotion? రెండు verses ఉన్నాయి చెప్పండి. Let us remember that. Right. Sarvopadi vinirmuktam upadi. Upadi means all the bodily designations. Anniga. Prabhupada రాసుడు bodily designations అంటే I am man, I am woman, I am African, I am American, I am software engineer, I am doctor. అన్ని బాడీలీ అవన్నీ గెట్ అవే ఫ్రమ్ దట్. సర్వోపాధి విముక్తం తత్పరత్వేన నిర్మలం ఋషికేశ సేవనం భక్తి. దట్ ఈస్ వన్ వర్డ్. అండ్ వన్ మోర్ వర్డ్స్ ఇంకోటి చెప్పండి.
యోగం అదే రూప గోస్వామి ఉంటుంది కదా, యుక్తం వైరాగ్యం వచ్చితే ఎవ్రీథింగ్
అత శ్రీకృష్ణ నామాది
నభవేత్ నా గ్రాహ్యం ఇంద్రియై
సేవన్ముహే జీవ స్వయం ఏవ
స్ఫురత్యదః.
బ్యూటిఫుల్ వర్డ్స్. ఇంకొన్ని కూడా ఉంటాయి. దట్స్ థింగ్. అన్యాభిలాషిత శూన్యం జ్ఞాన కర్మ అనుకూల్యన కృష్ణ అనుశీలనం భక్తిరుత్తమ. These are the verses gives us a hope, gives us confidence, gives us joy of devotional service by practicing. Drupa Goswami ki jai. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Let us continue on Monday where we left. So today let us continue. First ఈ ఆడియో రికార్డింగ్ ఇందాము. ఏది మన ప్రభుజీది చాంటింగ్. Today we will learn 3 more verses. Okay. So let me play. Just give me a minute. I'll show you also. Okay. So just a minute, I'm just sharing screen as well as ఒకసారి చూద్దాం కొత్త వర్సెస్. Okay. Thank you very much for waiting. ముకుందమాల స్తోత్రం కి జై. కింగ్ కులశేఖర్ ఆల్వార్ కి జై. ఈజీ, ఐ మీన్ సాంగ్ లాగానే ఉంటుంది. సో ఆ ట్యూన్ లో ఇఫ్ యూ ఫిట్ అవర్ సింగ్ ఇట్స్ ఓకే. It's good only. So this one we will learn 3. Chintayami Harim Yeva Santadam. First let us hear all the one time with Prabhu. 1 second. Share computer sound, stereo and now.
मुकुन्दमाला स्तोत्रम्. श्रीवल्लभेति वरदेति दयापरेति भक्तप्रियेति भवलुण्ठनकोविदेति नाथेति नागशयनेति जगन्निवासेत्यालापिनं प्रतिदिनं कुरु मां मुकुन्द. जयतु जयतु देवो देवकीनन्दनोऽयं जयतु जयतु कृष्णो वृष्णिवंशप्रदीपः. जयतु जयतु मेघश्यामलः कोमलाङ्गो जयतु जयतु पृथ्वी भारनाशो मुकुन्दः. मुकुन्दमूर्ध्ना प्रणिपत्य याचे भवन्तमेकान्तमियन्तमर्थम् अविस्मृतिस्त्वच्चरणारविन्दे भवे भवे मेस्तु भवत्प्रसादात्. नाहं वन्दे तव चरणयोर्द्वन्द्वमद्वन्द्वहेतोः कुम्भीपाकं गुरुमपि हरे नारकं नापनेतुम्. रम्या रामा मृदुतनुलता नन्दनेनापि रन्तुम् भावे भावे हृदय भवने भावयेयं भवन्तम्. नष्टा धर्मेण वसुनिचये नैव कामोपभोगे यद्भाव्यं तद्भवतु भगवन् पूर्वकर्मानुरूपम्. एतत् प्रार्थ्यं मम बहुमतं जन्म जन्मान्तरेऽपि त्वत्पादाम्भोरुहयुगगता निश्चला भक्तिरस्तु. दिवि वा भुवि वा ममास्तु वासो नरके वा नरकान्तकप्रकामम्. अवधीरितशारदारविन्दौ चरणौ ते मरणेऽपि चिन्तयामि. चिन्तयामि हरिमेव सन्ततम् मन्दहासमुदिताननाम्बुजम्. नन्दगोपतनयं परात्परम् नारदादिमुनिवृन्दवन्दितम्. करचरणसरोजे कान्तिमन्नेत्रमीने श्रममुषिभुजवीची व्याकुले गाधमार्गे. हरिसरसि विगाह्य पीयते जोजलौघम् भवमरुपरिखिन्नः क्लेशमद्य त्यजामि. सरसि जनयने सशङ्खचक्रे मुरभिदिमा विरमस्व चित्तरन्तुम्. सुखतरमपरं न जातु जाने हरिचरणस्मरणामृतेन तुल्यम्.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So let us continue.
Very nice recitation. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
I want to do first this one, okay? Hare Krishna, yeah. He's nice anyway. That's why he's attracting many souls. Very nice. Good. Chintayami harim yeva santatam mandahasamuditananambujam nandagopatanayam paratparam नारदादिमुनिवृन्दवन्दितम्. करचरण सरोजे कान्तिमान् नेत्रमीने श्रममुषि भुजवीची व्याकुले गाधमार्गे. हरिसरसि विघाह्य पीयते जोजलाघम् भवमरुपरिखिन्न क्लेशमाद्य त्यजामि. सरसि जनयने शशाङ्कचक्रे मुरभीदिमा विरमस्वचित्तरन्तुं सुखतरमपरं न जातु जाने हरिचरणस्मरणामृतेन तुल्यम्. You do Lavani next.
चिन्तयामि हरिरेव सन्ततं मन्दहासामुदिताननाम्बुजं नन्दगोपातनयं परात्परं नारदादिमुनिवृन्दवन्दितम् करचरणसरोजे कान्तिमन्नेत्रमीने श्रममुषिभुजिवीची व्याकुले गाधमार्गे हरिशरणविगाह्या पीयते जो जलाग्नं भवमरुपरिकिन्ना क्लेशमद्या त्यजामि सरसिजनयने शशङ्खचक्रे मुरभीदिमाविरमस्वचित्तरन्तुं सुखतरमपरं न जातु जाने हरिचरणस्मरणामृतेन तुल्यम्. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, I'll try, Prabhuji.
Wait, Mata. Sirisha Mata wanted. She unmuted before you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
चिन्तयामि हरिमेव सन्ततं मन्दहासामुदितानाननाम्बुजं नन्दगोपातनयं परत्परं नारदादिमुनिवृन्दवन्दितं करचरणसरोजे कान्तिमन्नेत्रमीने श्रममुषिभुजवीची व्याकुले गाधमार्गे हरिसरसि विगाह्या पीयते जोजलाङ्गं भवमरुपरिकिन्नः क्लेशमाद्य त्यजामि सरसिजनयने शशङ्खचक्रे मुरभिदिमां विरमस्त्वचित्तरन्तुं सुखतरमपरं न जातु जाने हरिचरणस्मरणामृतेन तुल्यम्. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mata.
Yes, Prabhuji. चिन्तयामि हरिम् एव सततं मन्दहासमुदि
Santatam.
Okay. चिन्तयामि हरि एव सन्ततं मुदिताननाम्बुजं नन्दगोपतनयं परात्परं नारदादिमुनिवृन्दवन्दितं करचरणसरोजे कान्तिमन्नेत्रमीने श्रममुषिभुजविची व्याकुले गाधमार्गे ससि विघाया पीयते जो जलाघं भवमरुपरिकिन्नः क्लेशमाद्य त्यजामि నయనే శశంఖచక్రే
ఇది వేరే ఉంటుంది మాత. కొంచెం వేరు ఉంటుంది.
సరసిజనయన శశంఖచక్రే మురాభిధి మా విరమస్వచిత్తరంతుం సుఖతరం అపరం న జాతు జానే హరిచరణస్మరణేనామృతేన తుల్యం.
Thank you. Thank you. Next, who wants to?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I will do.
Jai.
चिन्तयामि हरिम्येव सन्ततं मन्दहासमुदितानानाम्बुजं नन्दगोपतनयं परात्परं नारदादिमुनिवृन्दवन्दितम् करचरणसरोजे कान्तिमन्नेत्रमीने श्रममुषिभुजवीची व्याकुले गाधमार्गे हरिसरसि विघाह्या पीयते जो जलौघं भवमरुपरिकिन्ना क्लेशमद्य त्यजामि सरसिजनयने शशङ्खचक्रे मुरभीदिमाविरमस्वचित्तरन्तुं शुकतरम् अपरं न जातु जाने हरिचरणस्मरणामृतेन तुल्यम्. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I think we'll stop here. We'll continue on Monday this practice. Anybody wants to read this translation, then we can wrap up. Actually, I will read. I haven't gone through it, Bhagavatam readings. Just I was there. Okay, let me read these translations. Text 7. I always think of Lord Hari, Chintayami Harim Heva Santatam, whose joyful lotus face bears a gentle smile. Mandahasa Muditananam Bhujam. Although he is the son of the cowherd Nandagopa, is also the supreme absolute truth, Paratparam. Nandagopatanayam Paratparam. Very nice, huh? Worshipped by great sages like Narada Adi Muni Vrindavanditam. So nice. The desert of material existence. What is saying here? The desert of material existence has exhausted me. Karacharana Saroje Kantiman Netramene Sramamushi Bhuja Vichi Vyakule Gadamarge. But today I will cast aside all troubles by dividing into the lake of Lord Hari's. Kara Saroja Charana Saroje and drinking freely of the abundant waters of his splendor. The lotuses in that lake are his hands and feet, and the fish are his brilliant shining eyes. Harisarasi Vigahya Piyate Jalaugam Bavamaru Parikhinna Kleshamadya Tejami. That lake's water relieves all fatigue and is agitated by the waves his arms create. Its current flow deep beyond fathoming. Language journey.
సో ఇక్కడ డెజర్ట్ అంటే ఇక్కడ సాంస్క్రిట్ లో ఏముందండి? అగాధమా?
Yes. Sanskrit word could enter actually. We can find out. We will add later. I know that one. There is a book, a complete book with word to word meaning.
ఉంది.
Oh my! You can check in the book, right? We have book now. You check that book.
కరెక్ట్ గా అగాధ తెలుస్తలేదు. ఐ మీన్
It's not there in the book.
ఉంది. అగాధ ఫాథమ్లెస్. యా. అంటే అగాధ అంటే డెజర్ట్ అని ఎక్కడ అదేనా?
What is in that book?
ఓకే మరు ఉంది. డెజర్ట్ మరు ఉంది. ఓకే. Kara hands, Charana feet, Saroje whose lotuses, Kantimat shining, Netra eyes, Mine whose fish, Shama exhaustion, Mushi robbing, Bhuja offs, Vichi by waves, Vyakule agitated, Agada fathomless, Marge whose movement, Hari of Lord Hari, Sarasi in the lake, Vigahya by diving, Apiya drinking fully, Teja of his splendor, Jala of water, Orgam the flood, Bhava of material existence, Maru in the desert. Parikinna worn out, Klesham distress, Adya today, Tejami I'll abandon. Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Maru
fathoming meaning edante after much thought, beyond the thought. See, Krishna is beyond our material thought, right? His current flows deep beyond the Haribol. Okay. Oh mind, please never stop taking pleasure in thinking of the Mura demon's destroyer. Please never stop taking pleasure. Murari. Mura Bhidi. Who has lotus eyes and bears the conch and disc weapon. Indeed, I know of nothing else that gives such extreme pleasure as meditating on Lord Hari's divine feet. Haribol. Sarasijanayane Shashanka Chakre Murabhidima Virama Swachittantam Sukatharamaparam Najatu Jane Haricharana Smarana Nrutena Tulyam. See, Haricharan is important. Lotus feet of Supreme Lord. Hari Bol. Okay, thank you so much, devotees. Thank you for your extended time. Mukundamala Stotram ki jai. King Kulashekar Alwar ki jai. Sadguru Shri Prabhupada ki jai. वांछाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। निताय गौर